Hi children viewers, in previous video you learned types of inertia and Newton's second law of motion, definition and relation between force and acceleration, relation between mass and acceleration. Good children, in this video you are going to learn about the derivation of F is equals to ma. Most important derivation children, derivation of F is equals to ma. It should be generally called as Newton's second law equation. So children, already I explained you what is Newton's second law of motion. The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. So most probably Newton's first law explains about the what? Force and inertia. So I made one video for Newton's first law of motion. So if you didn't saw that video, then go and watch for it once. So here Newton's first law explains about the force and inertia, and Newton's second law explains about the changes in momentum of the body. I already told you what is momentum in the previous video. What is momentum? Product of mass and velocity. Okay, Newton's second law of motion is what? The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. I already told you rate of change of means the changes occurred in the quantity with respect to of time. Clear? So here by using this Newton's second law, F is proportional to dp by dt, we have to derive the Newton's second law equation. F is equals to ma. Derivation of F is equals to ma. So here we know that according to Newton's second law, what do you write? F is proportional to dp by dt. Clear? F is proportional to dp by dt. What is that? F is external force. That means here there is one object is there. On that object some external force is applied. Then here what is momentum? Momentum is nothing but product of mass and velocity. If a body has mass and velocity, then obviously the product of mass and velocity is called its momentum. Clear children? Product of mass and velocity of a body is called its momentum. Clear? For example, here when we have 5 kg of mass of the body, and that we applied some 20 newtons of force, then its velocity becomes some 6 meter per second. Then what is momentum? Momentum is what? mv. Mass is how much? 5 kg. Velocity is how much? 6 meter per second. When 20 newton amount of force is applied, just imagine, when 20 newton amount of force is applied on the body can move with velocity 6 meter per second. Then what is momentum? 5 into 6, 30 kg meter per second. That is the momentum. Next, on the same body we applied some here 30 newtons force. Then its velocity becomes 8 meter per second. Then what is momentum? 40. Again same thing, 5 into 8, 40 kg meter per second. That means from this example what you understand? The mass is constant. What's that? Mass is constant. When we apply some force, its velocity changes. When velocity changes, momentum also changes. I already told you what's that. The momentum depend upon the two factors, mass and velocity. In those two factors, if any one of them is changed, momentum also changed. That's why here in this case the velocity can gain by the body, that's why its momentum also changes. Children, next thing is here, what you observe, the mass is constant, but what's the difference? The amount of force applied on the body is increases. Initially how much is there? 20 newtons. Now it is how much? 30 newtons. When force increases, velocity also increases. When velocity increases, momentum also increases. That is the Newton's second law. What is here? This is F. When F increases, P also increases. So that is what we call directly proportional. What is that? Directly proportional. Clear, children? The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. That is what we call Newton's second law. So here, that only we have mentioned here. F is proportional to dp by dt. So here I am taking now, this is the one equation number 1. Generally when x is proportional to y, x is proportional to y, x is proportional to y. Here x is the one quantity and y is another quantity. That means they are in directly proportional, means if we can increase one quantity, then second also increases. If we can decrease the first quantity, second also decreases. So during that equation, to equate them, we have to use one constant, and that is here I am writing x is equals to z into y. X is equals to z into y. Here the z letter is known as proportionality constant. What is that? Proportionality constant. That means to equal or to balance the two physical quantities in an equation, we are using one constant that should be known as here proportionality constant. So like that, here also same thing, F is proportional to dp by dt. So to equate them, I am using one constant, that is k here. F is equals to k into dp by dt. This is what? Equation number 2. Here F is equals to, I am writing now, k into d by dt of p. What is p? Momentum. How we can write momentum? Product of mass and velocity. Product of mass into velocity. Then substitute here, F is equals to k into d by dt of mv. d by dt of mv. Children, clear? F is equals to k into d by dt of mv. In previous example, what I told you, we had taken 5 kg of mass. First time we applied some 20 newtons. Next time we applied some 30 newtons. Here we are taking mass is constant. Mass is constant. Very simple, children. Here this duster is there. Clear? Clear. So we are taking the duster and we are simply throwing it. Throwing it means what? We are applying some force. What's that? Applying some force. When force is applied, velocity changes. When velocity changes, momentum can be changes, because P is equals to mv. But there is no change in its mass. Clear, children? Here we are traveling in a bus. We are traveling in a bus. Or for example, we are taking some stone. Simply everybody do this one. We are taking some stone and that should be thrown into the some place, air. That will move. Move means, that means what? That should be having some velocity. That should be having some velocity. So after some time also you can observe there is no change in mass of the body. That's why here the mass of the body should be taken as constant. Clear, children? That's why here there is no change in mass of the body. Mass of the body. Here for example, you may ask like this also. In a bus, some diesel is there. While we are going in the bus, here the fuel must be consumed. Fuel must be consumed. Then the mass of the bus should be So maybe the fuel mass decreases, but the comparative mass of the bus, the fuel mass is very less. That's why few conditions are there here. The mass of the fuel is negligible with respect to bus mass. Okay, leave that. Simply what you have to take here now, in this case we have to take mass is constant. For example, desert, we are throwing a desert, but there is no its mass, but there is some change in its momentum and velocity. Clear? That's why here the mass never be changed with respect of time of the body. That's why here I am taking m is equals to constant. M is constant. That's why here I am writing F is equals to K into M into, I am writing d by dt of V, d by dt of V. Clear children? D by dt of V. F is equals to K into M into d by dt of V. I already told you d by dt means what? Rate of change of. What's that? Rate of change of. So rate of change of what we call, that means we are comparing the changes in the quantity with respect of time. Here mv, simple, p is equals to mv. Momentum can be changes. What do you say? Velocity changes, then momentum is changes, even though mass is constant. That's why here what we say, in this case we are taking mass is constant. Then here we know that, what's that? A means what? A means what? A means what? Acceleration. Rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. So that's why here I am writing rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity, what we call? Acceleration. That's why in that equation what you take? F is equals to K into M into A. F is equals to K into M into A. Then here equation number 3. Clear children? So here if you can, here let K value is equals to 1. What is that? Let K value is equals to 1. Then what do you get? F is equals to MA. F is equals to MA. F is equals to MA. This is the Newton's second law equation derivation. F is equals to MA. Here the K value is what? 1. When we will take the K value means 1, means for that you have to go for this explanation. When the K value should be equals to 1. Here we are taken, what's that? A block of mass 1 kg. What's that? A block of mass 1 kg. Clear? On that block we applied some force. F is equals to 1 Newton. Clear? Then that should be accelerates with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. 1 Newton amount of force is applied on the body of mass 1 kg. Then what is acceleration? 1 meter per second square. What is that? 1 meter per second square. Then here what is the F value? F is equals to 1 Newton and A is equals to 1 meter per second square. And M is equals to 1 kg. M is equals to 1 kg. Then from equation number 3 what you have to write? From equation number 3 what you have to write? 1 is equals to K into 1 into 1. Then what do you get? 1 is equals to K. From equation 3 what? F is equals to KMA. What we have taken? F is equals to 1 and M is equals to 1 and A also 1. Then what do you get? K is equals to 1. So under this case only we will write K is equals to 1. Then what do you get? F is equals to MA. Children, this is about the Newton's second law equation F is equals to MA derivation. So see once again briefly. We know that, what is that? Newton's second law of motion. What is that? The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum, is called Newton's second law of motion. For that, in equation form, what rate? F is proportional to dp by dt, equation number 1. When two quantities are in proportionality, to equate them we have to use one constant that should be known as proportionality constant. That should be, here I am taking, that is K. K is the constant, for that no units. Here F is equals to K into dP by dt. Here what is P? Momentum. What is momentum? Momentum is nothing but product of mass and velocity. That's why in that equation what you have to write? P means what? mv. P is equals to mv. Then what write? F is equals to K into d by dt of mv. We know that here we are taking one assumption. What's that? While the body is in motion, there is no change in its mass. While the body can gain momentum, then also there is no change to mass. That's why here mass is constant. That's why we can write F is equals to K into m into d by dt of v. F is equals to K into m into d by dt of v. Clear, children? So here v is nothing but velocity. I already told you what is mean by d by dt means what? D by dt means rate of change of, here what do you write? Rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity, what do we know? That is acceleration. Then F is equals to K into m into a, equation number 3. Then here let K value is equals to 1, then what do you write? F is equals to m a. F is equals to m a. Then here K value is equals to what? 1. When we will take the K value is 1, we will get the K value is 1 when the body is having some mass 1 kg, that should be acted upon by force 1 Newton, then its acceleration is 1 meter per second square. Then what do you get? K value is 1. So children, this is the Newton's second law equation derivation. Children, here there is some relation between Newton's second law and first law. Just see here, very simply I will tell you. Here we know that F is equals to ma. F is equals to ma. Clear? We have some equations there. What is that? F is equals to ma. When we have F is equals to ma, in that I am saying now, this is the body. On that body of mass m. So on that body we are not applying any force. So I am telling children, Newton's first law can be explained from Newton's second law. Newton's second law can be explained. Children, Newton's second law can be explained from, yet simply here F is equals to ma is there. From that equation I am going to explain Newton's first law. Newton's first law can be explained from Newton's second law. For that I am going here F is equals to ma. F is equals to ma. Here we are taking some body of mass is m. On that, if you are not applying any force, that means what we take here, F is equals to 0. Then I am writing now 0 is equals to ma. 0 is equals to ma. We know that xy is equals to 0. For example, we know that xy is equals to 0. That means to satisfy that condition, maybe x is equals to 0 and y is not equals to 0. Xy is equals to 0. In that equation, maybe it must be wants to true means what? Maybe x is 0 or y is 0 or both are 0. We have some x is not equal to 0 and then y is 0, or x 0 and y is 0. Under these three conditions, xy is equal to 0 will be satisfied. Like that, here I am taking now 0 is equals to ma. Already we know that mass never be 0. Clear? Mass never be 0. Clear? When mass never be 0, then what, right? That means here, therefore a is equals to 0. That means when there is no external force acting on the body, the external force acting on the body is 0, then acceleration also 0. Very interesting. Keep concentrate. When there is no force, what we take? F is equals to 0. then ma is equals to 0. Mass never be 0. That's what, right? Therefore a is 0. Tell me now, under what conditions acceleration becomes 0? When the acceleration becomes 0, what is right? Acceleration is what? Change in velocity by time. Change in velocity by time. Change in velocity by time. When the body is acceleration is 0 means what? When the body will get acceleration is 0. Tell me, two conditions are there. The first thing is, I am taking same example here. The body is rest. The body is rest. For the first time, when time t1 also it is rest. For time t2 also it is rest. That means here I am writing a is equals to v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t1. Acceleration is change in velocity is equals to a into v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t1, children. So in this case, here what I am telling, at time t1 there should be rest. At time t also is in rest. That means what? v1 is 0. For time t1 v1 is 0. For time t2 also v2 is 0. Because both times it is to be in rest. Then what to write? Here v2 minus v1, nothing but here v2 minus v2 by t2 minus t1. That is what you get, 0. Clear? The body is always at rest. For example, when the time is 5 seconds, that should be at rest. After 15 seconds also, that should be in rest. Rest means what? When the body is in rest, its velocity is 0. That's why here 0 minus 0 is 0. That means both are same here now. Here, when simply write at the time of rest, what at 0 minus 0 by some t2 minus t1. That is what you get, 0. Acceleration is 0 meter per second square. That is the first condition. Clear? Second condition. The body is, for the time, that should be in velocity of 40 meter per second, and t2 also that should be in 40 meter per second. 40 meter per second. Clear? When rest we are getting acceleration is 0. Now the body is moving at the same speed, 40 meter per second, 40 meter per second. When the body is moving at the same speed, again a is equals to here v2 is this is v1 and this is v2. 40 minus 40 by t2 minus t1. That is 0 meter per second square. That means what? When the body is in uniform motion and when the body is in rest, in both cases acceleration should be taken as 0. Clear? So I already told you what's that here now. When we are not applying any force, then acceleration is 0. Acceleration is 0. When the body is having 0 acceleration, the body is when it is rest, and when the body is in uniform motion. That means here, if there is no force, the acceleration of the body is 0. That will be possible at the body which is at rest and the body which is at uniform motion. That means if there is no external force acting on the body which is at rest, that should be in rest. The body which is in uniform motion, that should be in uniform motion. That is what we call as Newton's first law of motion. Clear, children? So now here, simple, when the force is 0, acceleration is 0. When the acceleration is 0 means what? When the body is at rest and the body is in uniform motion. And these two conditions only, acceleration is 0. That's why when there is no force acting on the body which is at rest, that should be in rest, and the body which is in motion, uniform motion, that should be in uniform motion. This is what we call Newton's second law of motion. In this way, we can explain the Newton's first law from Newton's second law. Got, children? I hope you understand this topic. Children, watch all the videos, enjoy the videos and enjoy the physics. So To get the notifications, you must subscribe my channel. After watching the video, like and share and comment the video, and if you like the video, share to your friends also, and your some friends and classmates also. You must be share this video. Finally, I am signing off, and after that we will meet in the next video with next topic. Bye children, take care.